realize I still have these headphones on. I really don't know how this is gonna go, man. It's a hell of a topic. But the last video I did on Big Pharma, I don't know, it's like Spirit kind of just been revealing things or showing me things, guiding me to certain things, and I guess deepening like my awareness on the matter. First and foremost, anytime we hear stuff like, or when we can think back on when the media was emphasizing or quote unquote giving media coverage to opioid crises, right, and addictions or epidemics, simply, you know, posting a Netflix series or like talking about it for a week or a month, that's not enough, right? This is talking about hard fucking drugs. And a lot of this, regardless of them trying to blame it on street niggas, gangsters, or whatever the case may be, a lot of this has to do with Big Pharma. Some of the drug addicts that you see are not all people who just were karmics, low vibrational and messy, and they thought they was just partying and shit backfired or they got caught up or fucked up. No, that is not the case. Some of these people, or some of these addicts that you see, are literally victims of Big Pharma. So it's the reason why I said Big Pharma drug lords, right? So I'm just going to read you my notes. I'm going to read through them, and then we'll go back and, you know, go deeper, right? So it says Big Pharma drug lords. Let me show you. Big Pharma drug lords, creation of the Walking Dead, opioid epidemic. So, Philadelphia. I don't know how, if anybody else is getting like channelings or like your ancestors or your spirit guides are guiding you or guiding your focus here to the state of Philadelphia. If any of you have been receiving messages about this. Because somebody that I'm subscribed to, because I was talking to my partner about the show called Intervention. This is something that I used to watch a lot years ago. And he's, you know, he wasn't that familiar with it. So I was like, well, I want you to, you know, see this or whatever. The one episode I clicked on, I think it was season 20 or episode, I really don't know. But literally, the one episode I clicked on, which was not, you know, it was random. It was absolutely random to me, to my human self. But I was being guided by spirit, right? The video I clicked on was Philadelphia, the state of Philadelphia, or these individuals' stories who were based out in Philadelphia. But it wasn't just these individuals. It was like a whole community of people in Philadelphia literally completely just gone, like on drugs, right? Strong drugs like heroin. And so today when I was on YouTube, like before or shortly before doing a reading, I got to show y'all what I see. One of the people that I'm subscribed to, who's always, you know, speaking of the occulted things, the dark things, or etymology, you know, this, that, and the third, right? They posted this post today, literally today, 12 hours ago. His name is D. Calico. And what he did was he posted the etymology of Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia equals phila, which phila means death. So F-I-L-A or P-H-I-L-A means death in etymology. Delphia means the womb. The womb. So Philadelphia means the womb of death, not brotherly love, according to etymology. So I just want to show y'all this, because that right there, that was all the confirmation and clarity I needed to let me know Spirit want me to talk about this today, right? So boom. If you want to subscribe to him on YouTube, his name on YouTube is Shadowban, literally. It looks like he's on Facebook as his original name, which is D Calico. That's DeeCalico, right? So another thing that we're going to talk about too is learning the etymology of the places, the states, towns, neighborhoods, countries, or whatever you are inhabiting, right? Because there's energy to every name. You know, like how a lot of the history of when people conquer a certain area, a certain place and stuff like that, they'll name places after their name or their last name of the generals or whatever the case may be, right? But these are talking about some places being like, it's deeper than just the name of the place, right? Just like you having a name is deeper than simply you having a name, like something for people to remember you by. You know, there's meaning to a name, and whatever, you know, meaning or energy frequency associated with that name, those letters, whatever the case may be, right? It does influence, right, the energy, the impact of the people, of the person, right? So Philadelphia literally means the womb of death. So it's not surprising that so many people are strung out there. Strung out. Now, my last time going to Philadelphia was back in I'll say this. My last time being in Philadelphia was shortly after I started my lock journey. And my locks are really, really short. So they was like up here, like where this is, like my bangs right now. This is how short my locks were, if not shorter, right? That was the last time I've been to Philadelphia. And my last few visits to Philadelphia, I will always wonder, I ask myself the question, what are these celebrities or whatever doing about their hometown? Because it look crazy out here. Like, why does it look so deserted and barren, right? It just looked like it was in, like, the nature, right? The landscape was already in crises, opposed to the goddamn people. So, I'm watching this video, and these, you know, interventionists, they're going and basically showing all of the different, you know, hideouts or the places where these, you know, addicts have formed some sort of community out in nature and stuff like that. But you see this in places like Atlanta and stuff too, right? People camping under bridges and stuff. But when they went to these places, they just showed how filthy Philadelphia is, like, increasingly becoming, because of so many addicts, or more and more addicts being put on the streets. Nobody is really talking about the distributors, though. There's not much emphasis on the distributors until you sit down and you actually get the story from these people's family members, you know, of their background and how did they get here, right? So once again, everybody that's not an addict is not a person who, you know, they just decided, oh, I'm just gonna get fucked up. No, there are people who, I can't really think of what the term is it for, but you know how, like, when it comes to, like, okay, let's say you're a woman and you've never been with a woman. You're a man and you've never been with a man. But then you have sex with them, and then people will say, oh yeah, I turned that person out. So there's this whole thing of turning people out with drugs. Now, I'm from South Carolina, and I know that for a fact. I know that. Now, it wasn't as prevalent or, like, in the public eye, right? Or really talked about, right? Or neither is it as obvious, right, as it is, you know, in Philadelphia, right? But this is the thing, you know, there are some people who get targeted, and people will, you know, put drugs in their stuff and and then, you know, have them strung out and shit, right? There's parents who are addicts, and then they use with their children, right? Because they don't know any other way to establish some type of real, like, some type of connection with them, because the drug has become, like, their source, their state of being, right? There's different ways. And accidents, tragic accidents, when people are given very, very strong drugs, painkillers and stuff like that. This is how a lot of people become addicted to this shit that they don't want to talk about like that. They always want to emphasize, oh, the drug lords in the community distributing drugs and da 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 da. But they don't really want to talk about the real mafia, which is Big Pharma, right? That's the real fucking mafia. So what I was hearing too, these people playing God by wanting to be the healer, the curer, you know what I'm saying, and manipulating substances, right? Chemicals, whatever the case may be. Playing God to ease whatever, you know, physical pain in the moment. But once the body heals, right, they remove these things, remove this drug from the person. And even though that person's body is healed, their psyche has already been damaged because of the drug or the chemicals, you know, that they were on that basically had them like unconscious, right? So in order to actually heal internally, you have to be conscious and aware. You have to be present in order to heal effectively, right? So if your mind, right, is numbed, right, it's under some type of numbing effect, right, a whole different like reality within. Even though whatever wounds that you may have collected from whatever that tragic accident was, right? Because they don't think, okay, it's either two things. These people in these hospitals or these pharmacists or these whatever, these chemists, some of them don't think far enough as to what happens once we remove this person from this shit. What happens then? What do we do then? So you have those, and you have people who do know and simply don't give a fuck because they already on code to what the agenda is actually. So keeping who's at the top, and keeping people at the low, or lowering them even more, or killing them off, having them kill themselves off, self-destruct or self-sabotage themselves, giving them things so that they can take themselves out, right? It's like the same concept with the music industry and the entertainment industry, right? Like, for example, like I was saying yesterday about the music industry preferring artists who don't have any self-governing authority in their lives. They're looking to another person to basically map out their lives for them, opposed to taking initiative and creating like a real personal connection with source, you know, with the Most High, in order to, you know, just be guided naturally by these things, by their own spirit, right? To be able to discern. They don't want people like that. People who are like that, they underpay these people, they defame these people, they shadow ban and all this other bullshit to people. They don't want these people in the public eye, right? But people who are on, oh yes, daddy, whatever you want, whatever you need me to do for the bag, whatever I got to do, I will do it for the bag. I will kill my mama. I will kill my child. I will sacrifice my child. I will fuck my brother. I will do whatever it takes for me to be on top. Whatever it takes for me to have it all. Whatever it takes for me to be given all the kingdoms of the world, I'll do it. They want people like that. And then what do they do when they get these people? Of course, they have to abide by whatever transcripts, right, and inscriptions that, you know, they have to do according to their contract, right, in order to create more what's the word I'm looking for, diminished psyches, right, identity crises, people being in limbo, lost, indecisive, isolated, non-trusting, right, dark competition. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of ways we can go with this, right? What people's intentions, or what their intentions are for their artists, what individuals simultaneously can self-destruct and self-sabotage themselves with all of that money and not enough internal wealth, not enough wisdom to be behind that money and behind their choices, and, you know, how they govern themselves with these things, right? So it's the same concept with, you know, how they use drugs, or how they execute and weaponize drugs, right? So they'll present it to you as it's something to help you, but in actuality it's not. So it's kind of like that whole double speech thing as well. But this is like a double act, right? This is why, this is not why, but you know what, never mind, yes it is. If you see here in one of my decks, I have good deeds reversed, and then right underneath that is Babylon. It's behind that. So this Babylonian energy is to present, you know, programs, present substances, present, you know, concepts, constructs, factions, whatever it is, to appear like these, like the people behind it are sowing good deeds, to appear like they're actually helping out, when in actuality they're not. In actuality, they're not, right? This is the Babylonian energy. Okay, so I got tragic accident victims given strong drugs such as opioids, painkillers, etc. that is highly addictive in nature, crippling and paralyzing the mind, slowing down time of effective psychological, emotional, and spiritual healing. Otherwise, while the body heals, as in the wounds have been repaired. The danger of removing these addictive drugs from patients who do not feel at all that they have healed from the pain due to their lack of consciousness, presence, and awareness, right? Being numbed to it by the drug, right? So this is disrupting nature's natural order. The results of emphasizing the flesh over internal things, such as the psyche, emotions, and the soul. Playing God by manipulating, distributing drugs as false solutions to immediate issues, yet failing to deliver those that perceive it. Hold on. Playing God by manipulating, distributing drugs as false solutions to immediate issues, yet failing to deliver those that have become codependent upon these substances and perceive it as their personal savior, healer, source of ease, protection, and security. Right? So they want to play God until shit hit the fan. When shit hit the fan, they looking for somewhere else to point their fingers or to blame somebody. They start arresting motherfuckers, trying to make it seem like, oh, it's these rappers. Oh, it's these people. Oh, it's these hoodlums. Who are the cause? Right? For the condition or the state, you know, that people are in, or that this particular state or country or whatever location is in. Right? Because they don't want to be held accountable. So trying to avoid accountability here, right? So literally just playing all over people as if they're just fucking game characters, video characters, movie characters, right? In their own personal, like, just tyrannical as fucking perception, man. It's just fucking, it's fucking selfish as fuck. So it says, a mind that is not present cannot heal. The mind raises the children. Parents who are addicts using with their children. The condition of your mind has an impact on your body. The condition of your body impacts the mind. Right? So another place that this was more confirmation for me that popped up in one of the stories, one of the shorts on my YouTube channel. Because this is something I always thought about, but I never really delved deeper into it. Whenever I would be looking for places, personally, myself, this is how my spiritual eye, you know, operates. Whenever I would be looking, you know, across the map of places, you know, to potentially live in, travel to, or move to, I cannot, there's something within my soul that cannot overlook the name of these fucking places. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just built like that. For example, Missouri. What the fuck does it look like? What the fuck does the spelling, does the word look like? And what does it sound very much close to? Misery. I watched a short today, literally before I went live. I watched a short that said how in Missouri, they've been for some time and aggressively, you know, still doing it and may achieve doing this, right? They've been aggressively for some time trying to lower the age of consent in that particular state. So basically, grown-ass, dusty-ass men trying to fuck little girls and marry little girls who are like 12 years old, right? As young as 12 years old, they're trying to normalize and legalize this in Missouri. A place that literally sounds like misery. Misery, right? So this is the same, this is the essence of Philadelphia, right? And this is talking about us being more conscious of our reality, period. And having more compassion towards people who's been victimized. Literally, they've been victimized, right? Okay. So before I move forward or whatever, This is also talking about the strength of love and compassion that it has for people. And even when these people are out here, you know, they're hooked on these things and this, that, and the third, it's a reason why they all cluster and group together. That sense of togetherness, of some type of, you know, compassionate warmth, and like somebody still seeing you as a human, right? And not seeing you for what you're going through, not seeing you for the current condition that you're in as a result of an attack upon your flesh. So this is talking about this as well, like people being under judgment for how we treat one another, man. Literally how we treat one another. This is not saying, oh, you gotta, you know, involve yourself so deeply that, you know, you get impacted negatively. No, this is not what this is saying, but this is talking about an attitude here. A certain attitude that a lot of people have or don't have, right? Concerning this. So let me finish saying this too, because I don't know if I finished telling about this girl. So in her situation, this is somebody who literally, when she was growing up, when she was younger, when she was a teenager, all before her car accident, she was the sibling out of three of them. She was the one that would tell on her siblings if they do something wrong. She was the one that would she would break her dad's cigarettes, or anything, like she would break it up and throw it, you know, flush it down the toilet. Basically, she was a wholesome girl. Like, she was a wholesome, pure, innocent girl. Literally more pure and innocent than her two siblings. She got in a car accident, y'all. A car accident. A tragic car accident. And they put her on these strong ass fucking drugs and shit, opioids. This is how she became addicted. This is how she became an addict. But she's not a fucking bad person. She's not a demonic person, right? So this is talking about being able to, you know, view people, you know, accurately, like, and this, that, and the third. Just having compassion. Not saying you have to be involved with them, this, that, and the third, but showing more compassion, right? So it's like how yesterday when the Gemini card came out about cross-pollinate, whether we're cross-pollinating war, conflict, discord, and separation, or we're cross-pollinating, you know, love and understanding, compassion, and patience, right? Showing a little love to somebody, a little compassion to somebody makes a hell of a difference. Showing kindness to somebody shows a hell of a difference. So seer, detector of plots and schemes done in secret. So this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I'm talking about in this matter here. Period. Detective of plot. So the plot of Big Pharma, these people, that's, woo! It makes me think about Wizard of Oz. The wizard behind the curtain, right? So we got relief, revelations. So I keep hearing Babylonian revelations here. Babylonian revelations. Okay, so what I'm getting here too, the descendants or the people whose bloodlines or who are responsible for doing this, even though originally the intentions was to target the black community, point blank fucking period, the intentions was to target the black community, but this is talking about how this shit done spread out to their own community members, to their own children's children, as a part of Revelations, karma. You reap what you sow, right? In your own generation, the sins of the father, right? So this is talking about them not being prepared for what they created. And not being prepared, like, don't know what to do, how to fix it, right? So needing a powerful source like the Most High, but not really, you know, being able to receive that because you don't have a real connection with God, right? You want it to be God. But this is talking about the importance of individuals who do have God within them, right? Why? Because God is love. It says, too prideful to admit I was wrong. So instead, they rather blame it or they rather frame other people who are literally just trying to get by, or who are also victims of, you know, this economic system or whatever, or just these plots here. This spiritual warfare, this psychological warfare. Emotional distress. Moors, Melanin people. Like I said, this is who these people was targeting. So not only are they trying to, or was their so-called plot to have black people, have some black people hooked on drugs and stuff like that, right? Eliminate them that way. But also the people who are discriminated against financially, you know, those guys who kind of feel pressured or lured, or, you know, buy into becoming like people who sell drugs or on the streets and stuff like that, or whatever. Like this music, the spell and witchcraft of music, the spell binding of music to popularize or glamorize this, right? And put people in this energy, induce this spell in people. Because a lot of times it don't even be that people actually just want to be like this. Oh, I want to sell drugs. Like I want to be this type of person. Or I want to be a head buster. People don't just wake up and decide that they want to be that way. A lot of times it's the shit that they fucking listen to. They're being cursed, right? This is why it says we were born into sin and shaped by iniquity. So being shaped by the music that you're listening to. Rapid speed, increase in inclination. This is what, oh my God. So music itself, this is what speeds up this kind of energy here. We got drugs, prostitution, rings, and bust. And then affordable, doubt, putting people in doubt makes them more rich, keeps them rich, or keeps these people broken. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio energy. So the water energy here, emotional distress. Once again, pollution, the pollution that these substances literally do. That's like what I said the other day, bruh. If you spill a fucking soda in an ocean of water or a river, you're not gonna be able to get a goddamn cup or a bowl or some shit and scoop all the damn soda out. You're not gonna be able to do that. You're not gonna be able to. That's very challenging for someone to do. That's very challenging. So it's the same concept when people get put on these hard drugs, these liquid substances and stuff like that, and how it pollutes their womb space, their sacral chakra, their water. If your solar plexus is literally your inner sun, the sacral chakra is your inner ocean, responsible for receptivity, what you receive, your ability to be receptive, right? To be receptive. This is why the womb holds on to things. It's hard for the womb to let go and release conflict, trauma. It's hard, right? Because it's responsible for emotions, right? So we got in the closet. Fathers who are sexually attracted to their own daughters, granddaughters, nieces, and sisters. So this could talk about what I mentioned about Missouri here. Some of these people trying to pass these laws and stuff like that, it's not even a matter of them like wanting to date somebody else's child, marry somebody else's child. They're trying to pass this so they can marry their own goddamn children. Finish him. They want to marry their own goddamn, they want to fuck their own children and shit. Legally. Oh my God, man. Being ran by perversion. Now, you know, Pisces. So what okay, boom. Cancer is the moon. Scorpio is Pluto. And Pisces is Neptune, right? So imagine the combination of those energies right now. We got minions, flying monkeys. I need you something blue. Something blue. So we got caution and beware reverse. And then stuck in the past. Poisoning. So it makes me think about how once upon a time this was something, you know, being emphasized or being talked about a lot, right? And then how we kind of just faded into the background. But the whole time it's kind of like the concept of fleas. How they like multiply themselves at a rapid pace. This is what's been happening behind the scenes with these opioid addictions here. They're not talking about it. They're intentionally not talking about it like that in the media. They're not cautioning and bewaring individuals of, you know, the severity of these issues. So trying to cover shit up. That's why we got in the closet, trying to keep shit in the closet or covered up here. Or trying to make it seem like it's not as bad as it actually is. Money return, because they don't want to return this money here. And then we got increasing fandom reverse. So this whole fucking big ass illusion that's been pushed on us aggressively about just drug culture, right? Getting high or what, you know, what the music industry produces so much about pill popping, this, that, and the third. It's so crazy how that song Pill Popper was so fucking popular, bro. I remember one semester when I was in school, there was this guy there. He wasn't a student, but he was friends with one of my peers or whatever. But he was from the area or nearby. But he was from Savannah. Well, we was in Beaufort, but he was from Savannah, Georgia. And I remember this dude would come to the school like with a bunch of pills, plenty of pills. So there's the countdown. Countdown to having to return his money is increasing. It's happening right now. But anyway, I remember, you know, him kind of being viewed in a light like, oh, like this a cool ass dude. He, you know, he cool as shit. He fun, da 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 da. And it's like, why though? Why? So a lot of this has to do with the culture that they intentionally shaped here to shape us and shape our judgment, shape what we think is, you know, success, shape what we think is fun. This has a lot to do with Greek organizations as well, promoting this kind of behavior in Greek organizations. Apology. I bet they are feeling sorry now. Yeah, this is something that's remarkable. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad. Running out of time. Then we got seduction. Seduction. All natural seduction. So it says, you are an earth angel. Do not be fooled by your flesh, nor by appearances. I have made you in concrete proof and evidence of who you are in my eyes. So this is talking about those individuals who still have like this God energy within them, who retain their heart, their purity, their pureness, who've like literally found those escapes that were available to them in every fucking conflict, fucked up ass experience that was intended to shape them to be dark or evil or harden their hearts, right? This is talking about the power and just the necessity, the demand of these people, these angels here, these angels upon earth, in order to help aid through, you know, through this chaos. And it says this is only the beginning behind the scenes. This is only the beginning. So it's not even as, look, I'm telling you, I'm going to find the name of this place here because I want y'all to look into it because it's really bad. It's literally like the apocalypse. There's people who's defining this epidemic or whatever as apocalyptic. There's people, children can't even go outside and play anymore because there's needles on the ground. There's fucking used heroin needles all over the ground in communities. It's not just restricted to certain areas where they hang out and shit like that. This is talking about this spreading, cross-pollinating like a plague in their communities. They can't go outside in their lawns without finding needles and trash everywhere. This is how bad it is in Philadelphia. And Spirit said this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. It's a lot more going on behind the scenes. This is only the beginning. So all this purge shit, these movies that they've been trying to put out and promote, or you know how there's a lot of apocalyptic movies, series, and shows in the world, in our culture, a lot of them. Case settled, lots of moolah. So yeah, something about legalities or having to pay back something, or something about being sued or some shit. Look, apology, death is knocking. It's like either give up and actually provide enough finances or support for people to actually take back their lives or heal or live how they deserve, right? It's either that or you're gonna die. Every last one of you gonna die. Every single last one of you gonna die. Every single last one of you gonna die. Death is knocking. And if it's not you that's gonna die, this is talking about death increasing as a result. And if you're doing that, that means there's more blood on your hands. More blood on your hands. So once again, this is what happens when playing God backfires. Something about child prophets too are going to be speaking up on a lot more things as well, revealing a lot more things here about what's going on behind the scenes. This is also talking about trying to destroy people, trying to destroy the quality of what people reproduce or produce into the reality, the quality of the children that are birthed into our world, our reality here, because they don't, it's like they want to limit the birthing of child prophets, right? This is crazy. We got record, write a song, reverse. Yeah, trying to, I see. Trying to destroy portals. It's a hard not life for us. Instead of treated, we get tricks. Instead of treated, we get kicks. I'm sorry. So it says they don't believe in them. Looks are deceiving, reverse. Instagram. So social media is serving a large impact in this. You know, this has been coming out a lot too. I need to look up. I need to see what it's about. So there could be something regarding Trinidad, or something about Trinidad or Trinidadians. You are the bloodline of Solomon, a divine judge, wise counsel, understanding heart. So a judge, a wise judge, a divine judge and wise counsel concerning spell work and spell casting. And how it's being produced through movies here. So we got Druids came out, and then cold-hearted reverse. You truly are an oracle, a messenger, magic to make you doubt who you are and your power. Praying for your downfall and playing any side that benefits them, a scorner. So this is talking about these scorners here receiving karma. And a lot of it has to do with people seeing the manifestations of the seeds that they planted through the community, through other people here. So now they're looking at these people in leadership. They're people are, you know, putting or forcing or looking at these pharmaceutical companies or these chemists, these doctors, right, in review here. Under deep review. I don't know why I'm feeling like, especially regarding their false information here. We got false information, reverse. So challenging their information here, the information they've been putting out, or their methods of doing things. Divine judge, past life. Period. New moon. We got a new moon in Cancer. I think we're in new moon in Cancer right now, actually. So this is happening now. This is happening now. But hold on, because I want to show y'all, I want to tell you what part is this happening like the heaviest, right? In Philly. I think it's Kensington, Philadelphia. Look at this. Kensington, Philadelphia. Yep. In Philadelphia's Kensington district, home to one of the largest open-air drug markets in the United States, crowds of sellers and buyers flock to corners as if there never were a pandemic. The blocks where drug dealing takes place never closed, says Christine Russo, 38, who's been using heroin for 7 years. Yeah, even the pandemic doesn't slow down Philadelphia's drug opioid addiction crises. Of Philadelphia's drug markets. Something about the transportation, like through trains or something like that. But people are not asking this question as to where are these things coming from, where are they being shipped from, right? See, what they put in our face, they always want to tell us, oh, Mexico, Mexicans, right? They always want to blame it on somebody else, like a group that they've already defined or labeled as a minority. They always try to blame them, right? But if we're talking about Philadelphia and like its main transit or transport system, like literally running right through the town, right? This train, where this train is going all over the fucking world, like, and coming through here delivering shit. But they just tell us what they want us to know or who they want us to think it is. But what about Frenchmen and, you know, these other places around the world, you know, where things are being shipped through and this, that, and the third, right? So they're intentionally not really talking, they're not telling the whole thing, right, of who's responsible for issuing these drugs to these communities. See, why they won't even let me, that's crazy. I'm trying to read this, pull up this article. Stop doing, they fucking with my shit, bro. That's crazy. That's all right. That is all right. Because one thing about it, you cannot stop the truth from coming out. You can't. Even if it manifests through people. Y'all, this shit won't even let me fucking... Okay, I'm trying to read this article, but they're trying to make me subscribe just to read the fucking article. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. I'm trying to see if I can pause it before it does it again. No, it's not letting me. So I'm hearing too, like, COVID covered up a lot of shit. Like, there was a lot of stuff that got inflated, including opioid addictions during COVID. They was hiding that shit. But you know, like I was watching, it's the same thing with all drugs, really, like especially alcohol. Alcohol use has increased as well since COVID. But anyway, these liquids, right, that taint the womb, the emotions, what we create and produce into this world. It's like they're trying to cut off they're either trying to, because think about how we have so many children with learning disabilities, right, based on some drugs or some shit, you know, that their parents consumed, right, or some type of technology that wasn't here like in previous times. So they're either trying to intentionally disrupt the psyche of our coming children, the coming generations, right? Because they're aware of this time shift that has to happen, this new earth. They know there's going to be fucking star seeds and all type of angelic beings being birthed into this reality, right? They know this. So they're trying to desperately put some type of potion or elixir of chemicals or some shit into people to pollute their inner oceans, which is your womb, your sacral chakra, right? They're trying to pollute that as much as possible to prevent these prophets or these more higher divine angelic beings from entering this realm, because every womb is a portal, right? And then you have to, I mean, in this reality, you need that dick and that semen to create that goddamn baby. All right, So this is why they see the benefit in poisoning both genders, right? Poisoning their blood especially. So that part. This is going to be good. You wake up in the morning, brew a savory cup of coffee, and head out to the front porch for a sip as you watch the sunrise. Some Philadelphia residents need to take a few important steps before they can savor their morning drink. They must pick needles and syringes out of their potted plants, hose urine from the front steps, shoo away strangers sleeping in the yard, call the police to report unconscious people on the sidewalk. For these Philly residents, the drug problem is both real and pressing, but it's a mistake to believe that substance abuse is confined to just a few neighborhoods. Throughout the state, people are using drugs and dying from their use, and the substances they choose are varied. So it's not just heroin. Excuse me. Philadelphia addiction statistics are both stark and sobering, but when it comes to addiction, enhanced knowledge is critical. The more you know about how addiction touches your community, the better prepared you'll be when drugs affect someone you love. The better, look, this is why I said earlier about these things affecting the ones that they love, affecting their own children, right? Backfiring. And this is why it's spreading so rampantly and expansively, because they didn't intend for their children to be addicts, just black children. Yeah, they thought that damn crack baby shit, crack babies, 80s babies, 80s crack. I got that 80s crack. They thought that shit was funny. That shit was entertaining to them. Now that shit taking out their fucking family members in numbers. Painkiller abuse in Philadelphia. It's impossible to talk about Philly. Sacral chakra. Let's keep that in mind when we talking about pain. Because where you feel that shit at in your stomach, where you hold that shit at in your stomach, when you have melanin, you attach to energies more fiercely than any other race. You do. That's just a chemical in your body that you produce that holds on to shit. It does. So once again, the intended goal and target was to have black people sprung out of shit. But now it's spreading to their communities. Now it's causing them discomfort. Where they thought it was just gonna, take out more people and keep them, to have the better jobs, the better homes, the better neighborhoods, the better schools, the better communities. Now it's making it impossible. Like, no, that shit is it's coming into their homes. It's coming into their homes. Their children getting, I don't matter how, it doesn't matter how much money they have, how great their community is. Their children are becoming addicts, coming home, killing themselves in the goddamn house. They ain't got to be in these goddamn communities where it's most prevalent or where the activity is most visible. They don't have to be there. They have their children bringing that shit home. They find their children in their fucking rooms and shit, fucking doped up. So ain't no way from getting away from that shit. Trying to run from that shit, right? Another thing too, this is talking about areas where this chaos or destruction is happening, or like certain habits, mutual habits that people share. Like for example, like fetish shit. Like I was talking about with Missouri, right? You have pedophiles in different areas intentionally going to places where they can, have these things legalized. It's the same thing with drugs. Like for example, if you're a heroin addict, right, and you're in a community where it's not. People still look down on it in any community, but it's not really like a normalized thing, right? This is talking about people going to places like this, right? Like they're coming together where they are, but not just drug addicts or stuff like that. But this is talking about pedophiles. This is talking about this type of energy happening right now too. Certain areas, and it's going to be highlighted even more so at this time. Why? Because it's a new moon in Cancer. Cancer is like one of the most receptive of the signs. Water in general talks about receptivity. Your ass being psychic, seeing the shit that's hidden, seeing behind veils, seeing beneath the water. When you At first glance, looking at a fucking ocean, a pond, a river, or whatever, you ain't gonna see nothing but your fucking self, right? You gonna see like little shit on top, but if it's like really deep waters, your ass don't see nothing that's going on beneath that. But this is talking about this happening at this time. But for those who are seers, the individuals who are seers, who still have that light within them in order to see these things, right? Let me finish reading this. Okay. It's impossible to talk about Philly's substance abuse without mentioning painkillers. Many cities across the United States are struggling with rising rates of addiction to substances like Vicodin and Oxycontin, but Philadelphia has been hit particularly hard. And we're talking about painkillers. Who's distributing the painkillers? These fucking hospitals, these trusted doctors, these trusted pharmacists. Period. Period. If it's so bad, why are y'all still distributing these things? Why are y'all still, marketing these things? Why are you still making it available if it's causing so much destruction more than good? Why are you still putting it out there? Why not put out more herbs, more natural shit? Why not? But instead, you want to turn the damn fucking produce out too. You want to inject and put drugs and shit in the produce too. Look, observe. Helpless and hopeless. Anyway, okay. But Philadelphia has been hit particularly hard. Opioid painkillers are central nervous system depressants. That goddamn nervous system. You know how great of a memory your nervous system has? Period. Period. They slow down breathing and heart rates, leading to a coma-like state that's accompanied by vomiting. Without swift intervention, people overdosing on painkillers can die. In Philadelphia, death rates are among the highest in the nation. What does Philadelphia mean in etymology? The womb of death. Period. Point blank, period. Point blank the fuck, period. Point blank the fuck, period. That's like a baby being formed and not... A baby can't dictate whether they can't tell their parent, bitch, stop taking that shit because it's hurting me. Bitch, stop drinking that damn alcohol. Bitch, stop dumping yourself up with it. A baby cannot... No baby has control over that shit. No baby in the womb don't have control over that shit. Period. Period. The womb of death. So this is talking about even if you're born in this area or exposed to an area that's like this, that's literally named the womb of death, you can be subject to these energies. Period. To be impacted or affected negatively by it. This is why even the residents who are clean are still being impacted negatively by it. Period. It's not something you can ignore and avoid. And that's intentional. Because that's what the fuck people have been doing. That's the desensitization of the United States. Right? Of our culture. To turn a blind eye to severe issues and things that we need to be honing in on as a community, working together to bring aid and relief. But no, people are too fucking selfish, self-centered about their own goddamn lives. That shit is sad as hell. That shit is sad. That shit is sad. Literally watching them hold a conversation, right? And just show one of these people some kindness and have a conversation with them, like, and and really give them some time of day outside of treating them like they're dirt, like they're nothing. That shit made a hell of a difference. Like, oh my God, man, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. What the fuck you expect to happen? What the fuck you expect to happen if you're still and you're contributing to spreading hatred? Right? We need dedicated effort. But people don't understand that turning a blind eye to shit, they've made a dedicated effort to turning a blind eye to shit that we supposed to be acknowledging. The bystander effect. Bystander effect. So what happens when you give dedicated effort to things? It grows. What you feed grows. So now motherfuckers walking around looking stupid and shit. Well, you should have been a leader. Master of your solar plexus, of your throat chakra, to purify these energies, right? Through your expression, speaking up about these things, acknowledging these things, speaking up about it, coming up with solutions, doing something, right? For the helpless and the hopeless. We got Spread Your Wings. Spread Your Wings 2-2. What year is it? 2022? 2022? Coming together, Spread Your Wings, and Simply Love. Simply Love. Number 6. Love Abounds. Number 1. That's the number 1 thing that should have never left anybody's vessel. Love. Their ability to give love. Their ability to receive love. Their ability to exist as love. That's the number 1 thing you're supposed to have here. That's the number 1 thing. That should be first priority. And you know, I'm going to say this. This is number 9. It says dreams coming true. People be way back here on the 9th stage and totally neglectful of the number 1 fucking first thing that you need to learn, that you need to possess in your soul, your spirit. Love. The spirit of God, the spirit of love. We got choosing battles. Choosing your battles. And just breathe. It's not even a matter of trying to control these things, this, that, and the third, but that don't mean you just turn a blind eye, you ignore it, you act like, you just become detached and desensitized to it. Because a lot of times what ends up happening, that shit come in your home and you ain't got no choice but to acknowledge it. Right? Anyway. Okay, 46 people and 100,000 died due to drug overdoses in Philadelphia. Most of those deaths are attributed to opioid painkillers. That's the second highest overdose rates researchers found in the United States. Overdoses aren't always fatal. Bystanders can give a drug called Narcan, which can block drugs from attaching to receptors. Receptivity. Trigger immediate drug withdrawal. Spark consciousness almost immediately. So people who are unconscious, Walking Dead, right? Psychologically dead, right? But we have the ability to resurrect as well. Does that mean you have to be all involved in somebody's like taking on their issues and stuff? No. But helping where you can with what you can, right? Speaking up about it, acknowledging it, not just being carried away by all these distractions around us, right? They are intentionally designed to distract us from those things that really matter here. Those things that, if given some type of effort or solution or action, can really help transform the frequencies that everybody gets, that everybody is subject to in our world, our reality. It says reverse the drug's impact on the cardiovascular system, the heart. A lot of these people don't feel loved at all. They don't. So they're trying to escape. So I'm picking up energy about this energy of dehumanizing people. That gotta go. So it says Narcan isn't a treatment for addiction. People who don't overdose can and often do go right back to drug use. Sometimes they awaken from an overdose and switch to a different drug. It says heroin and prescription painkillers are structurally similar. Both work on the same brain receptors and deliver euphoria. But heroin is often stronger than a painkiller, and in Philadelphia it might be easier to get. Neighborhoods like Kensington are notorious for their open-air drug markets. New York Times, according to New York Times, people come from all across the country to buy heroin at low prices, $5 per bag, without fear of a strong police presence. I wonder why. Drive through these neighborhoods and you'll see used needles, lots of garbage, intoxicated people, dealers hawking wares, and homelessness. Police work to close these markets, but the problem persists. People move to a new location when their preferred spots close, and they resist the idea of rehab when drugs are both cheap and plentiful. Even so, officials warn most overdose deaths don't take hold in public spaces. Instead, most deaths due to both painkillers and heroin happen in private residences. I just said that shit. People take painkillers for an injury or illness. The addiction worsens. They switch to heroin and they overdose. These are office workers, gardeners, churchgoers, and parents. They may not showcase their addiction in public, but it's still an issue. So it's not just, it is Big Pharma directly, right? That's the ultimate drug lord. But this is not just hospitals distributing this. This is also like psychological or mental health facilities as well, having these people hooked on drugs. But they don't want to talk about that. They want to be viewed as heroines, like heroes in the community. But in actuality, they've been creating more destruction and chaos than good. Experimentation like people are rats. Hell, shouldn't even be doing that to the goddamn rats, I'm sure. So it says, painkillers and heroin grab the lion's share of attention from the media and policymakers, but many other substances have addiction experts in Philadelphia concerned. Those additional drugs include alcohol. In 2015, according to city records, more than 1,300 people entered addiction treatment programs due to an alcohol issue. That makes drink the top addictive substance at play in the city. They were saying the same thing about Atlanta. Fentanyl, a potent painkiller that's easy for dealers to buy. Fentanyl is remarkably strong. That's why Remarkable came out too. When added to heroin, the effect is overwhelming. Fentanyl was responsible for 87% of overdose deaths in the city in 2017. Tramadol, that's Tramadol. This opioid painkiller is rarely mentioned in news articles about abuse. But according to official reports, its presence in seizures and drug exhibits rose 100% between 2016 and 2017. Researchers suggest that dealers are offering tramadol to buyers when oxycodone or hydrocodone drugs aren't available. Wow. This made me think about one of my karmic aunts. How she called herself trying to defame my character or something like that because I was smoking weed or because I smoked weed or something like that. But I remember shortly prior to that, she was taking some medicine or whatever, and I remember I picked up her pill bottle and I read it, or I picked up her prescription or whatever and I read it, and it literally said hydrocodone. I was like, bitch, you the one on drugs, you the addict. Like, I remember saying that because that was just something, or an attack that she used against me to try to defame my character. But yeah, but I know how she was saying, my doctor been giving me this for years, or I've been taking it for years, right? So this is also talking about those hidden addicts being revealed as well, or karmics who are addicts being exposed also. But I'm hearing too about people just being spiritually ill, spiritually diseased. Ugh. And it's like when it's deeply psychological, like that's like a strong block there. It makes it really hard. Like it's challenging to get out of that. That's strong bondage. All right, so methamphetamine. This stimulant drug is relatively easily to make in a clandestine laboratory, and it delivers a powerful high. New reports suggest that Philadelphia meth is sometimes mixed with fentanyl, and in June 2018, 3 people died due to this mixture. None of these users realized that the drugs they were taking contained fentanyl. And then they have benzoidazepines, benzodiazepines. I don't think it's a coincidence that damn word Zodiac is in this damn word here. These prescription drugs are designed to ease symptoms of anxiety and stress. Opioid users mix in these substances to deliver a more sedating, long-lasting high. So wanting people to be sedated and unaware. Sleep. A third of Philadelphia overdoses in 2017 were due to this mixture. It says city and state officials are worried about that rising death rate. Are they? And the impact that it has on the state's reputation. I was literally on it. Had, okay, this rapid growth and expansion, like this literally had to happen in order for these people to finally like start speaking up, or confessing, or just coming out more, or to fucking wake up and snap out of their false ass realities or illusions or fantasies here, and, you know, actually become fucking involved, or like show some form of benevolence here. But it's like, it's a shame. It shouldn't take you being concerned about your image and your reputation, or how people will see you, for you to finally like give a fuck about other people and the effect that you're leaving, that you're causing on other people, how you treat people. The impact it has on the state's reputation. They're looking for innovative ways to respond. Fines and prison terms go up if you have larger amounts, or if you've been convicted of a drug crime in the past. Even possessing items, which we know none of this shit's help. Like this, imprisoning these people, locking them up, or what, that shit don't help at all. You're still killing the person. Like, the person is still going, that's stupid. So, like I said, they got themselves in a sticky ass situation, and who do they really need? The Most High. But these people, they didn't know the Most High. Or the Most High don't know these people. And I'm talking about these people who were responsible for, who played a part in this, creating this epidemic. We got refusing to see. Yeah, because they were opportunists. And we got heal, rest and reconsider. Right. So this is inducing like deep contemplation too, and review, like I said already. We got the crown chakra. And then we got flow, putting an end to this cycle here. Moving on away from this by finally listening and acknowledging people. Listening to your intuition, your discernment here. Listening to other people's emotions. Allowing love to abound. Simply loving people. Being compassionate. Being compassionate. Coming together. So it's like, there's a scripture that says how, something about bearing the infirmities. Hold on. Let's say I'm in a strong state of being right now, and a friend of mine, they're in a weaker state of being. So they will come to me, right? Come to me and open up, right? Vent to me or whatever, and I will provide them some kind of counsel, or simply listening attentively, or active listening, right? And listening, you know, emotionally too, like on a deeper receptive level here, like listening to them, right? In that, I can add strength to where they're weak, right? If I share that with them, just by them, you know, sharing, you know, venting to me, right? And I provide them some type of counsel, or just strength, or loving them through something that typically people would disown them about, or some shit like that. This is not talking about you being a people pleaser either. We gotta teach here. So let me teach. If I was to do that, right, this is me sowing a seed into this person to help them move away from whatever, you know, whatever this was, or this state of being, these emotions here, right? So once again, the necessity, the need for people who are woke, for people who are healed or healing themselves, for people who are conscious and aware, and you know, this, that, and the third. Just the need and the demand for these people, and also the demand for us to be more compassionate with what we know, with our magic, with our gifts, with our abilities, right? But yeah, it's only beginning. It's only the beginning. We got solar plexus chakra. So once again, this is not talking about you enabling people, you know, who's doing this, but this is talking about having some compassion here. And just, you know, to reiterate before I close out, because I'm about to leave off this topic. This is talking about individuals who intentionally had a hand in trying to create addiction in the black community, and that backfiring on their families. And this is why it's just kind of growing so rampantly, like out of their control here, right? And they're needing us. They're needing people who really have like the spirit of God within them. People who are truly like spiritually like effective and impactful and influential. They need people like this, like people who can connect to source and like really get true like assistance, powers, resurrection powers, all right? That was a lot. Food and dehydration is affecting mood. I'm telling you, heavy fucking judgment, bro, for just, these people created a mess. They created a mess behind money and power and control. They created a fucking mess here. Yeah. I think I'm gonna end it here, y'all. So if your path, your life path is for you to be this teacher here, for you to be this very observant person, right? This person who take, you know, their necessary time to heal and stuff like that. If this is your path for you to just bring awareness or knowledge about this stuff or solution, definitely honor your path here because it's needed. It says ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Oh, let me read both of these. So that's the light attribute of teacher. But the shadow attribute is manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. So these are these energies, why this shit is the way it is. The light attributes of the hermit is seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. And then the shadow attributes, withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. He got me want to look up the etymology of misery, bro. Or Missouri. See, I can't even start calling it what it sound like to me. People of the big canoes. Nah, they still hiding shit right there. They ain't showing me shit at all. And they usually break this word down like syllable wise, but they're not even trying to break it down. Let's see. Nope. Not here anyway. So Missouri, missionary. So Mississippi too. About missing people. So misery and trafficking in Mississippi. The Big River. The Big ZB River. Hold on, let me see what this is about really quick before I go. I don't think I've ever spelled this word correctly. They'll correct it. Yeah, I'm definitely on to something. Human trafficking affects 12 to 27 million men, women, and children worldwide who are held in slavery. Ex-victims can be found working in restaurants or homes, on farms or construction sites, or in the sex trade. It is a worldwide problem, but also a local one. Human trafficking is happening in Mississippi with Mississippians as victims. Human traffickers prey on those who become disadvantaged, even temporarily due to age. So think about COVID. Even temporarily due to age, social abandonment. Wow, drugs. Economic hardship, disasters, emergencies, or criminal activity. All these things result from a lack of love and compassion. The demand for cheap labor drives the market for human trafficking victims. Okay. Just like prisoners, literally. That's why a lot of companies have prisoners doing their work now, opposed to like free. I can't say free, but residents. Damn, when the last time they even did updated annual report? Because that said 2020. Look, boom. So I knew yep, see? Confirmation. State officials warn about a rise in human trafficking cases in Mississippi. Human trafficking is more profitable illegal enterprises globally, and officials are saying that the crime is on the rise in the state of Mississippi. So let me show you this, because I'm not making this shit up. I'm not making this shit up. I don't know if it's actually showing it, but yeah. So boom, confirmation there. So the womb of death for Philadelphia, and you see the condition of the people there with these drugs, with liquids, with water. That's why Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces came out. Elixirs, potions, the water element, right? Liquids, poisons, right? So we saw the condition of that in Philadelphia, the womb of death. And I told you about Missouri, about them lowering child consent laws or whatever, so old ass men can marry some 12-year-olds or some little ass girls, some shit like that. And then the card that came out for that was fathers who are attracted to their own damn. So just talking about incest, trying to legalize incest. And some of these people think that they're doing like holy shit too. Like they think this shit is holy. Like, alright, so I'm not gonna read any more of that. But increase. That's why that card came out and said this is on the beginning. So people got to do something different. We got to do something different. There's a lot of children being affected by this. And social media is not helping. And we damn sure not helping by being addicted to it either. Hell, too many people love social media or love being praised and fucking shit like that more than they actually give a fuck about real fucking people. Oh my God. Missouri has had the highest crime rates in the West North Central region for both violent crime and property crime for 3 years now. While violent crime went up in Missouri from 5.0 per 1,000 to 5.4, property crimes decreased from 26.6 per 1,000 to 25.3. However, talking about misery, torment, violent crimes have increased. While property has decreased. That's fucking crazy. Property crimes. They said 12 for every 100,000 people. Oh my God, Missouri is the second highest murder rate amongst the United States. So what's the highest one? But it's literally called misery. I'm not making this shit up. The states in America with highest murder. The red state murder plan. Per capita murder rates were 40% higher in states won by Donald Trump than those won by Joe Biden. So this is talking about like a lot of deaths not even being reported either. So there's that. I found out about a lot of unsolved cases here, missing and murder cases. So it says that the highest rate is Louisiana. So something about Louisiana as well. Louis. French colony from 1812, a U.S. state named 1682 by French explorer La Salle for Louis. I don't know that Roman numeral. Of France. The name originally applied to the entire Mississippi basin. So, okay, Louisiana. Oh my God. Basin. Huh. So these places named after these fucking karmic ass colonizers. Plaquemines mines, parish at the mouth of the Mississippi in Louisiana. What the fuck? So something about the Frenchmen bringing their ways or pushing their ways onto us or onto other cultures. And being famous in war. That was his legacy. That's why there's so much violence and murder there. Already thieves, already fucking terrorists and shit. Entitled. So yeah, this is talking about these karmic colonizers or officials or these individuals here who put themselves, or you know, other crooked motherfuckers put themselves in position, put each other in position here. This is talking about them having to witness, like, see the manifestations of the seeds that they planted. Especially these things that they got their name on or that they named after themselves. They're going to have to see it, like, see its destruction. Unless they try to repair it somehow, correct it. Which someone would be too arrogant and, like the card came out, too prideful to do so. To admit that they was wrong. Yep. Too prideful to admit I was wrong. So they think they just gonna escape from it. Nope. They're gonna bring it right to your house. We're gonna make it so that you can't ignore it anymore. That's what's happening in the spirit realm. That's what's happening. Alright, you guys. It's your girl, the Authentic Empress. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. But I hope you guys was able to get some messages, some clarity, or I don't know, maybe you've been getting some messages about this. So I'll see you guys in the next video.